joining us. We are back, and a lot has happened over the last few weeks. The National Guard continued to wander around DC looking for something to do. These two got engaged, and on Wednesday, Xi Jinping held a massive military parade featuring troops running past missiles, this shot of pure uncut shaft, and Xi himself somberly sticking his head out of a sunroof like your most uptight friend trying to be fun at her bachelorette party. He looks like a dog who just got some concerning medical news. Now, in what many took to be a rebuke to Trump, Xi's guests included Vladimir Putin, who was caught on a hot mic engaging in some fun small talk.
As biotechnology continues to develop, human organs will continue to be transplanted, and people will become younger, and perhaps even achieve immortality.
OK. Set aside the weirdness of hearing such supervillain shit over the visuals of two 72-year-olds getting their steps in. The last thing you want to hear autocrats getting interested in is young organs, because you know that the answer to where would you get them is not going to be an unusually strong pig. But we're going to start here in the US, which has seen weeks of chaos surrounding vaccines. Last month, Trump and RFK fired the head of the CDC. On that same day, the FDA released new COVID vaccine guidelines that limited their use for many Americans. And then on Wednesday, this happened.
With the CDC in turmoil, there's new fallout this morning after Florida's move to end vaccine mandates, including those for school children.
The Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them.
Yeah, all of them. Vaccines for polio, measles, mumps, diphtheria, whooping cough, all of them. It is genuinely weird to hear such terrifying news announced so cheerfully. The same way it'd be weird to hear your pilot announcing great news: we've replaced all the toilets with holes that suck you into the sky. All of them. All of them. Isn't that good? That guy is Florida's Surgeon General, and he holds a ton of questionable views. He's been a supporter of hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for COVID, even though it's been repeatedly shown not to work on it. He called for a halt to adding fluoride to Florida's water supply and recently stated, "I support the decision to consume raw milk amid an outbreak of E. coli linked to it in his state." And he took some pretty wild swings in his speech against vaccine mandates, including this.
Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Who am I to tell you what your child should put in your body? I don't have that right.
OK. Now, much like a Florida textbook, I'm going to skip right past the slavery part and point out you are the Surgeon General. It is actually your obligation to advise people on what vaccines should be in their children's bodies. And look, I am not a doctor. I just think about one before I go to sleep. But even I know there are certain things you're allowed to tell people to put in their kid's body. Water, for instance. Nutrients. One piece of dog food just to end the discussion. And also, life-saving vaccines. But it's also wild to hear that whole parents you do you stance from a man who has sought to ban gender-affirming medical care for minors regardless of parental consent. And it is worth noting, Florida, like many states, already allows parents to opt out of vaccines for religious reasons. But there is a big difference between that and the state's top health official comparing vaccine mandates to slavery with the voice of a used car salesman and the body language of someone nut tapping two ghosts. All these medical groups have since come out against what Florida is doing, and even Fox News' in-house medical expert pointed out why it is a terrible idea.
You could, at a state level, say, look, if you want to go to kindergarten, you need this vaccine. Why do we want you to have it? If you don't have an exemption, because of something called herd immunity. Because measles, if you go into a room where measles was and you're not vaccinated, within 2 hours, there's a 90% chance you're going to get it. And so for immunocompromised kids, the only way to protect them is to have 95% of the population vaccinated. Well, you're joining a community when you go to kindergarten. Sure. You're not only thinking about yourself, you're thinking about others. That's where the basis of it is.
Exactly. And it is kind of shocking to hear such good health information on Fox Business. In the same way that it'd be weird if Dr. Fauci chose to make an appearance on Sheena Shea's Shenanigans podcast. It's just not where I'd expect to hear a passionate defence of public health. I'm glad I'm getting it. I'm just a little surprised at the source. But he is right there. You are joining a community when you go to kindergarten, I mean, you're also joining a macaroni art gallery, an unofficial Halloween candy trading society, and a recorder symphony / terrorist group of audio torture professionals. But fundamentally, you're joining a community. Now, the good news here is that some states are going the other way. Just this week, California, Oregon, and Washington launched a West Coast Health Alliance designed to preserve vaccine access. But unfortunately, Florida probably won't be the last state to take this step, which will inevitably result in kids and others getting sick and dying. And while it is not great that certain leaders seem to be getting obsessed with achieving immortality through science, I'd argue it is frankly humiliating that ours currently seem intent on doing the exact fucking opposite. And now, this.
You see, this is a simple meme that you would find on the internet, but this meme is very real.
Why don't we go ahead and play around? Okay, that was my attempt to roll the dice.
This is, of course, a picture of former President Ronald Reagan naturally firing a machine gun while riding on the back of a dinosaur.
This is what you could end up looking like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries.
I believe this is actually the first time in American history that we have a taxidermied swamp creature on the actual floor of the House of Representatives.
We need them to confirm, firm. A person who will work to ensure that we can furk.
Before I start talking, I just want to take a quick drink of this super delicious milk.